Israeli forces have started its ground operation. The incursion is taking place in Beit Hanun, north of the Gaza Strip. Israeli artillery is shelling a northern area. Also, throughout the day, warplanes carried many of the attacks, preparing for such a ground operation. Bombings aimed at open areas and main route connecting the north and the south of the Gaza Strip. They cleared the areas of mines and tunnels, but such strikes led to many injuries among the civilians. Israeli army also dropped thousands of leaflets into some residential districts, warning inhabitants to evacuate their homes, stating in the leaflets that Israel is obliged to respond quickly from inside the residential area. There is it's kind of psychological war. People are afraid what's coming, where Israel will go inside Gaza. Are they going to occupy the whole Gaza Strip? This is the fear among the population. There are no shelters for the people here. You can hear the F-16, the drones, and now you can hear the shelling coming from the Israeli tanks, and people are in fear. It's extremely dark in Gaza. There is no electricity, and at the hospitals, they fear that there will be no fuel in 2 days. So it will be interesting to see what will happen in 2 days. Will Israel extend the operation for another week, or just 2 days till Sarkozy meet with the Israeli side and the Security Council will convene its meeting in New York?
Tagreed, what are people doing when they see those leaflets telling them to get out of the way? What could they possibly do? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I live next to a mosque, and these leaflets were dropped from the plane, and immediately everybody around me, the people, they came, and as a journalist, they asked me many questions, what to do, no shelters, and many families, they have no relatives to move, and where to move. Every single district has been threatened by Israel. So there is no way out for the people, no shelters, no places to go. There is so much fear. They don't know what's coming in half an hour, in 2 minutes, in 1 hour, tomorrow. There is no guidance. There is a complete absence of leadership here. There is complete absence of any authority, any government to take care of the population, of the citizens of Gaza.
That was my next question. Have you heard from the Hamas leadership, which we have heard is in hiding, but have they given any instructions to the population?
No instructions in the last 2 days. A few days ago, Haniya, the Prime Minister, Hamas Prime Minister, he gave a speech in which he told the people just to be patient and steadfast, and what will happen after such war will be bitter. You'll have bitter days. Your life will improve. But so far, people are left abandoned by everyone, including the leadership, whether it's Ramallah, I mean Ramallah here, the Palestinian Authority, Abu Mazen, whether it's Hamas, and also whether it's the international community, the U.S. Nobody is talking or protecting the Gazans. Even, if you talk about to families here, parents, I couldn't do it myself, so I invited myself. I'm living today with a Palestinian family, and you can see how children here are so afraid, and their fathers are unable to protect them, and their mothers, they are so afraid. They are trying to hide this fear away from their children, but they can't help it. There is so much tension, so much anger, so much uncertainty. They don't know what's happening, and the children are traumatized. Also, the parents, everybody around you is traumatized. It's really hard to describe. How people feeling right here. They feel abandoned. They are terrorized. They don't know these, the Israeli planes, where they're going to hit, which target, which is the Israeli target. You never know. Hamas has been in control now for a year and a half. You don't know who's around you. You don't know who is your neighbor anymore. You don't trust anyone. Everybody's suspecting the other. It's psychological war. It's military war by all means.
Hello, I'm Qida Fakhi in Washington. These are the main stories brought to you by Al Jazeera. Israeli forces began a ground offensive in Gaza on Saturday. There are reports of heavy gun battles and explosions were heard near Gaza City, where Hamas fighters are deployed. Al Jazeera is the only international broadcaster with a team of journalists reporting from inside Gaza. Ayman Muhyiddin gave us this latest on the fighting.
Well, we can tell from the sounds of the explosions that it is taking place at least on two different fronts. Currently one on the northern front, but most of the intense fighting that we have been hearing with that very heavy shelling taking place off to the east of where we're standing, that is east of areas such as Jabalia, places like Zaytun, and as you mentioned, El Burej. Those are areas all along the border between Israel and Gaza, large open areas of land, but also very heavily, densely populated areas. So certainly the activity there has been non-stop since Israel began its ground offensive. We are getting initial reports from Palestinian factions about the kind of fighting that they are describing as intense.
Israel's latest move comes a week after it began bombarding what it calls Hamas targets. More than 460 Palestinians have died, including 13 in an attack on a mosque on Saturday. 4 Israelis were killed in rocket attacks by Hamas. The Israeli military says the intention is to take control of areas from which Palestinian fighters have been firing rockets into Israel. The Israeli Defense Minister Ehud Barak says the campaign will not be over anytime soon. The U.S. State Department, meanwhile, says a ceasefire should take place as soon as possible. And it's accusing Hamas of, quote, holding Gaza hostage. Now, for its part, Hamas leaders say their fighters are prepared and Gaza will turn into a, quote, graveyard for Israeli troops. A spokesman for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas condemned the offensive as a vicious aggression. Meanwhile, there were demonstrations around the world against the Israeli actions in Gaza. Thousands turned out in Germany, France, Italy, Britain and India to condemn Israel. In the United States, both Israeli and Palestinian supporters marched on the streets of New York and Atlanta. And those are the stories for now. Thanks for watching.